everybody, everybody, hello, everybody. It's nearly 2023. How is everybody doing? So I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. One is just to wish you all a happy 2023, to convey the message of rest, recover, and reset, and refresh all the for this new calendar year. I tend to think Samhain is the witchy new year, but we have a lot of energies coming in, and so I just kind of want to extend that to people who might not be feeling great in the darker winter months. It can be a little bit difficult, so reaching out and putting that message out there into the universe. So what I wanted to talk about today is this is going to be kind of a refresh, reset trailer of my own. It's a trailer. We're making movies now, darlings. No. But this is something that I wanted to make and let you guys know because I'm really excited to be doing it. I'm going under a major upheaval with regards to focus and what I think matters in terms of like witchcraft and stuff like that. And as a result, we're just completely refreshing, revamping Patreon. And we will be releasing 2 videos-ish a month here on YouTube as well. And I feel good about that, to just trying to like let you guys know, I'm still alive. We're still alive, darlings. We're still alive. And better than ever, to be honest, like healing, finally, in an environment we can heal and take all the good energy in instead. Like, feeling good about that. Feeling good about that. So she says, sorry, I'm just bad. There's just dust on my thing. Very Virgo of me. Sorry. Right. Distracted. Back on track. So for Patreon, for my life in general, we're going all Hearth and Hedge witches, darlings, especially over on Patreon. And that's going to mean a few things. The focus is going to be Hedge witchcraft. We're going to have a much more witchy Patreon going forward. And Bestie had made a couple of suggestions to me, and I was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So Bestie and I, who is a Hearth witch, and I am a Hedge witch, hence, do you see where we're going? Work really well together. And we had already been doing manifestation work. I know what you're thinking, Jerry. That's a little bit new agey. That's a little bit toxic positivity. But wait. So her and I had already begun this kind of journey, and we had decided in 2023 we're going to make a whole year of it. We were going to do, work through books. We were going to do all sorts of goodness, and work that into a kind of a witchcraft mindset, because I and my Virgo mind go into it in a very kind of like what works, what's already witchcraft technically, how we can ramp up our manifestation, how we can make ourselves more effective spellcasters using the manifestation work, but also the places in which we need to examine where the current media is a bit lacking, in my opinion. Toxic positivity is one of the major things. Joey already has a graph of toxic positivity that's already been shown on Patreon, and I'm sure it would make a comeback next year, because toxic positivity is something I ran into a lot in certain spiritual crowds where people are pretending to be one thing and they're not. And so I was like, I think that actually gets in the way of the manifestation work. So I want to improve and adapt. Hashtag Virgo face. It's terrible, really, isn't it? But I saw some of the things that were like, that doesn't sit well in my soul bones, So and I always bounce it off Bestie, so we talk about it and talk it through. And so we decided, seeing as we're doing this anyway, we're going to make this into a book club for Patreon. So, and that kind of fits with my vibe more than I had thought of it, right? So throughout the whole year on Patreon, from 5 and above, in terms of tiers, everybody will have access to being part of the book club if they wish to be a part of it. So if you want to come along the journey and do it with us, you can. If you want to read the book along with us, if you can, or if you just want tips, tricks, analysis of books and things like that, then you know. And I'm going to actually give you guys a sneak peek of 2 of the materials that I'm going to be recording later today because they're here on the desk, which I'm absolutely freaking excited to get into. Like this one especially. Let me find the front cover of that one. There we go. So these, oh look, they match my eye makeup. I had not intended to do that, but hey. So I have the Earth Ways 2023 diary with a really cute golden barn owl one, and then this one is the one I'm so excited for. Consciously creating who I am becoming 2023, a planner created by Alexis Raccoon. I was going to say raccoon, but that's completely wrong. Raccoon, I think. And she is this artist, and she's one of my favorite artists of 2022. And when I saw she was doing a book, that I bought one for me and one for Bestie for Yule, and I was like, let's do it, because we already knew we were going to do that. I'm quite impressed they matched that to my eyeshadow without meaning to. Whoops. So I'm going to be doing like a full like flick view review of those and why I'm going to be using them, and you know, Bessie's going to be using them too because I bought her them for you all. So that's one of the things. And then, you know, you can work through it and you can talk to us about it. And we want to create more of a community around that. So that's the first thing. And we're going to be doing stuff like mood boards. We're going to be doing stuff like creating things with regards to the manifestation, but also with regards to home and hearth, as well as Hedge. So there's going to be lots more like classroom type videos. So the idea is we're going to be fixating more on plants, herbs, herbalism, green witchcraft with spirit work. That's what hedge witchcraft is to me and is in general. And so we're going to be working with plant spirits every single month. That means a whole journey every month. It's probably going to be every month, depending on how well the formatting goes. It might be every 2 months to give everybody time, so it's not too much information overload, because I give a lot. I'm a giver. I give. Too much, apparently. Molly's always like, I think you might do too much. And I'm like, but more though. Earth science, right? She's exactly the same. Bless her, I love her. And so it might be every 2 months. And so it's a journey working with particular plant spirits, which means a few things. Ogham are going to have a much bigger part of this Celtic hedge, which the journey going forward with me. And Ogham, if you don't know, it's a language of trees from the Irish, but it's now used with connection with divination and things like that. But I take that to a completely different level, and we talk about spirits behind Ogham and things like that. So Ogham is going to be a big part of it. Plant spirits, meditations, journeys, guided meditations, all that good stuff with regards to plant spirits, as well as shadow work if you're on the appropriate tier with the plant spirit du jour. And so we deepen each level. A smattering of glitter and shimmy for each tier. And so if you're on the 25 or above, that's all shadow work. So shadow work is continuing. We're going to continue. It's really important for manifestation as well. And we're going to have that as well, you know, journeys, journaling, guidance, etc. Then we're going to have classrooms and making things, because Bestie and I tend to do our best work when we're creating things together. And she's like the only person I've ever been able to like be in a room creating with, and it's really, really amazing because it's fun. And I'm like, this is fun. And so last year we created like these beautiful antler pieces that were to do with connecting more deeply to the universe and other bits and pieces. And so we're going to be doing more of that this year. And we're also going to be, because Bestie's like hearth witch extraordinaire, going to be doing recipes and cooking in her kitchen, most likely. I'll follow her around with the camera like, recipe me, witch. I might use that. I might be like, recipe witch, go. And so we're going to be doing like teas and tinctures and cooking and recipes and like stuff. And it's all going to be in tie with the Wheel of the Year. And one of the main reasons for me doing this is I'd started doing the magazine for one of the higher tiers, which is going to be continuing because I love the witch magazine. My teenage self is like, yeah, we're creating a magazine. And you get access to that every month and on the higher tier. And that is very cyclic. It's very witch living. It's very like when Mars retrograde started, for example, there were pages on, right, what's Mars retrograde? How do we witch through that? What herbs help that? And how can we do wildcrafting around this time of the year? And what Sabbat's coming up and do we want to celebrate it? And to do with the moon cycles and things. So it's all very witchy. And I want that on Patreon en masse. So things that are remaining the same is the astrological insights for the month with their tarot card pull and podcast, as well as their weekly card pull and video, because I love those things. And there are people who just show up purely for those things, and they find those super helpful and useful every week. And I do love the act of pulling cards each week for everybody and be like, right, these are some of the energies to look out for. This is what to be aware of. This might be happening this week. And I get some amazing feedback with that. Like patronies are always like, yeah, bitch, you knew. And I was like, the cards knew, I'm just translating. And then there are things that are staying the same, as well as new moon ritual will stay, and I'm going to get more efficient. And new moon is for absolutely everybody on Patreon regardless. So new moon ritual is on Zoom, and we're going to be doing that and pulling that into aspects of whatever plant spirit we are starting with. So whatever plant spirit of the month. We are starting with evergreens. We're starting with pine, elm, the ogham, and playing in that core of like the evergreens things. And so goddess energy will still come into it. You know, we're still going to, and especially like around the Sabbats when we're talking about like Bridget Fremont and things like that. So what else is staying the same? Witchcraft magazine is staying the same. Mystery boxes on appropriate tier. Oh yeah, if you're on the higher tier, you're still going to get access to physical things 4 times a year. The full on new moon podcast vlog and spellwork meditation. So that's in addition to the new moon ritual. So the new and full moon stuff is on the moon tier. Common sense. But I love that. I love doing the astrology for each moon. I love doing a little ritual for each moon. I love doing the spell work for each moon. And we might bring in different herbs and spices and things as well, by the way. So, for example, under evergreens, we might bring in, say, cooking with cinnamon. And so cinnamon might make an appearance as a secondary herbal plant, and things like a companion herb that works really well with the first one. So there's going to be lots of things like recipes and incense making, classroom stuff, and meditations and affirmations and making. I want it to be like really cool that we can make stuff together. And I want it to be like the first video of the cycle is like, right, this is how we make this, but you don't have to make that. And then the last thing of the cycle, or one of the last things of the cycle, can be like a meet up where on Zoom, non-recorded, where everybody can show up and be like, I did create something this month. I created the thing that you created, here it is. Or I created something else because that's more in line with me. So like if you're more of a knitter, for like Bestie knits and stuff. So she might do like a show and tell with like stitchy witchies. She wants to be involved. I'm gonna have to end up paying her a wage, like but I'll be like, can I pay you in candles? No. So you know, you can make different things and then we can all show and talk about it. There is of course a Discord group for everybody on there as like, you know, staying in contact, and I'm going to make more of an effort to be present with that. I was going through a lot with my health tours, well, for years and years and years and years, unfortunately, and that has resolved itself now. God, I feel better. And so we can have more of a community feel. The plant spirit stuff, by the way, is very much in the theme of I Can't Witch Without videos. So if you really enjoy the I Can't Witch Without videos, that kind of style is kind of the one of the focuses on the refresh on Patreon. So there's going to be lots of that. There's going to be giveaways as well, because I think with me making things that are not store related every month, I might be like either giving them away to begin with on Patreon, or maybe like, depending on how much it costs to make, offering patroonies a discounted price on things. But definitely to give away to start with, because I think that'd be more fun. Right, did I forget anything? Don't think so. I think that's it. I just want it to be more witchy, more manifestation, more spell work, more like things that are interesting. And because I don't want it to be getting into like the preachy vibe, and I want it to be like a give and take, give and take. Let's make things, let's do things, let's have fun, let's craft things, let's try painting, let's try making a tea, let's try making an incense, let's try well, not knitting with me. I will just record that because I cannot knit. But like, you know, little. To be honest, I want to make a little army of different kinds of plant spirits. So we have a little army going on, like whether that be ceramic or whatever. I kind of want to do, and they'll all have to go to new homes, I guess, maybe. But that's some of the things that we're going to be doing. Much more of a witch core. We're going witch core for 2023. 2023, witch core and more. Witch core and more. Witch core and more. Hedge and Hearth witch craft. Doop-a-doop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to be putting little bits and pieces over the top and things so you can see examples from my life, things we could create. And there goes Daisy. Daisy's having her zoomies now, so probably a good time to stop. Many blessings. I hope to see you in 2023 on Patreon. If not, have a very gorgeous year, my darlings. And don't forget, if you're on the very top tier, you can also have discussion time with Joey. Sessions with me. You could talk to me, you know. I'm so alone. Won't you talk to me? No. Many blessings, my darlings, and I will talk to you all very, very soon.